Hi, Stampers. So have you ever sat down in your craft room or your studio and you have no mojo? Like you just can't come up with any ideas. You kind of play around with a few things. Nothing's happening and you need to get that card done. Why not use the Stampin' Up catalogs to get some inspiration? Welcome to Stampin' with Diane. I'm Diane Evans and I'm an independent Canadian Stampin' Up demonstrator. So to get some inspiration, why don't you case? Case, what does that mean? Well, copy and share everything. There are so many different ways to case. You can copy exactly. You could copy and just change up some of the colors, grab some elements and use those. But I think it's one thing that I'm going to do today is copy and selectively edit. That is, like I say, that's the way that I like to do it. So here's the card that we're going to do today. Now, if you look here, and I'm just going to put that there, where I got the idea to do that card was actually from the mini catalog. And see these ideas here? So this is my card. And it's different, but it still has the idea of using the tulips. It uses some of the same colors. I didn't bring the yellow into there, but this is the card that we're actually going to case. So it is kind of close, right? So this is what you're going to need to make this card. I'm just going to put this over here. So you're going to need the Timeless Tulips bundle. Now that comes with the stamp set and also a punch that matches and cuts out these two things here. You're also going to need, and I'm going to bring in the ink in that first. We're going to use Rococo Rose, Rich Raspberry. Yes, that's the color that does these beautiful tulips here, and Old Olive. And we're also using this Whisper White, and it's a tulle. It's a polka dot tulle ribbon, and we're going to use that there. And let's see, here's the cardstock that we're using. Oh, the other thing that we are going to use are these detailed labels dies, and that's this one here that we're using. Because these are in the annual catalog, we tend to always forget about them, but yeah, these are great dies as well. So here's the paper that you're going to need. I used Thick Whisper White, and this is a gatefold card. So it's 5.5 by 8.5, and I scored this at 2 1/4. And then instead of going over like that, I just turned it around and scored it this way again. I just find that sometimes you're off by less than 1/16 of an inch, but it's best to just turn it around. Then we have, I'll just move this out of the way. We've used some of the Peaceful Poppies Designer Series paper. I used the reverse side of this, and this is like a pool party. We're also going to use a piece of Rich Raspberry, and it's 3/4 by 3 inches. And then the Whisper White, which is regular Whisper White. I have a piece that's cut at 3 by 3 3/4, but I cut out that die from the detailed labels die. I have another piece that's 2 by 3, one that's 1 by 3 3/4. Or 3 1/4, and another piece that's a half by 2 3/4, and actually that's a little bit longer than the 1/2 inch, but we can trim that down to whatever sentiment that we want to do. I had done this sentiment, congratulations, but also this one, which comes right from this Timeless Tulip stamps, is Happy Easter, Happy Spring, Happy Everything. I really that one's kind of catchy. We're going to use this Happy Birthday. You could use a Get Well Soon one, Happy Mother's Day. So this is definitely a spring type stamp set for sure. All right, so let's bring that over there and we'll bring everything in. Now, I have also, I've used my Stamparatus on here. We are also using photopolymer stamps. So I'm going to bring in my paper piercing mat as well. Okay, so let's work on this. So we're going to take our Thick Whisper White. We're going to fold into the mountain there, and we're going to use our bone folder. It's really important that you do use that bone folder. It helps score the card. It just makes everything more finished. So we're just going to take this piece and see where now I'm using the opposite side of the designer series paper. Very unusual for me to do stuff like that, but I've got it and I'm going to use it. So let's see, I'm just going to put this here. And oh, this piece of the Poppy Parade is at 5 1/4 by 1 7/8. But don't worry about the measurements. I will be providing a link down below that goes directly over to my blog where I'll have the measurements and all the supplies that are there, just to make it so much easier for you. Okay, so we're just going to put those on both sides of the card. So we've got our base done. And then I'm going to bring this part in, and this is where we're actually going to stamp. We're going to stamp some of the stems, and this one I noticed I don't have the leaves on, but this one I do have the leaves on. So it's just a matter of preference, and I think I'm going to leave it with the leaves on, that's for sure. So I've already put the stem on my block, and we're going to use Old Olive for the stems. Now I want this main tulip to be up higher, so we're just going to put it about there. I'm just going to bring this one over down around there, and this about there. Now for the other two stems, I'm going to wait until I've got my tulips on there so that I know where I can go ahead and put them. Now with the Rococo Rose, we're going to stamp those those tulip bulbs on there directly. Now on the stamp set, there's two different types. There's the bigger tulip, there's the bulb, bit of the bud, and this one's opened up a little bit. So we're going to use both of those there. So I have my one, the bigger one, and I'm actually going to put that right about there. And on these stamps, the way that the stems work is that's the bottom of the where the tulip thing will go itself. Then I'm just going to bring this in, and I noticed that that didn't stamp that well, so we're just going to move it around, travel it around on the stamp pad. And let's put that one down there. Okay. Now, I also have this piece here. And what I've done is I've taken these two here, and on the inside, and that one there, and I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to stamp this on a spare piece of paper. Now, I have gone ahead and fussy cut. Of course I have. But I'm just going to show you how I got that stamped. And we're just going to quickly clean that one off. And now I'm going to use the rich raspberry. Now, one thing that I strongly suggest that you do is keep watching your hands. This rich raspberry, when it gets on your cardstock, there's no getting it off. And it does tend to transfer to spots on your card that you do not want it on. Isn't that Murphy's Law? Anyways, so we're gonna do two of these. And there. And then we're going to fussy cut that. And that will be okay. But I've already gone ahead and fussy cut those out because of doing the video. So I'm going to bring out two of these and one of the Rococo Rose. There we go. And now on this piece, I am going to take my punch and I am going to punch out the tulip and the leaf. And then I'm going to just turn this piece around, and this will give me the option if I want to use a second leaf or not. I think before I get myself into any trouble, I am going to close up these ink pads. Now I've set up my Stamparatus so that I can stamp the larger tulip and also the leaves. So one thing that's really, really important is that you use, because this is photopolymer, that you use the specialty sponge. This is a new item. The Stamparatuses came with just a black one. This one just gives a tiny bit more, and it also has grids on it there. So, and I'm just going to put this into the corner. And I've punched these out, so now I can just put them in and use the template. Now, is that the right way? Let's see, there we go. And we'll put the leaf there as well. Now, because these are smaller amounts, what I've done is just gonna put that underneath there. I have, and I always suggest when you use a Stamparatus, is to use spots. Now, these were blank spots, so what I did was I've re-inked them. So there's the old olive. So see, I can just sort of isolate where I want that ink to go. And then I have the rich raspberry, and I just took my 1-inch punch and just punched out a color code for the back of them so that I can use them with my Stamparatus. Just helps getting, and you don't get all that ink all over the place, and it also alleviates getting some ink on your hands as well. Let's go in there and stamp that. I like to put equal pressure down on there. Now, I know that this is going to come and stick on my cards, just because I don't know what it is about the stamp set, so I'm just going to go like that and give it some extra pressure. Look at my things there. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to do one more leaf. Always check when you have a template that it's right where it's supposed to be. And now I'm going to go in with my, oh, this is Pear Pizzazz. That's why it's a little bit lighter than the other one. You know what? I'm going to sneak in and I'm going to put Old Olive on here. See, it's so much easier to actually just dedicate where this is going to go. You're not getting it all over the place. So yeah, I use Pear Pizzazz. All right, there we go. So we're done with the Stamparatus. We've got these here. See how much lighter that one is there? Maybe I'll only be using one. All right. So now I'm going to bring in my dimensionals. I'm going to take the big tulip. Tulips are definitely a sign of spring. I know here in Kamloops, I still have snow out in my backyard. Not a lot, but I still have snow out there. So, oh look, I got it wet. You know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to stamp another one just because I can. My hand was a bit wet. What? I wonder. Anyways, I'm going to go in and I'm going to punch that out again and do another one. Yeah, I can go in there. I can use this piece here. And while I've got it, then maybe I can even stamp another Old Olive one there. So bring in my Stamparatus again. That's right into the corner. And just going to put that in there. Now, I'm going to use the spot on here. Let's get it really good and stamped. But on here, I'm going to bring in that Old Olive because I don't have my spot for the Old Olive. That way, if I want to use the 2 leaves, I can. Okay. See what I mean by it gets on there if you don't use a spot, so. Okay. This is going to pop off with it. That one was okay. And this one, I'll just get that on there. Okay. Oh, I know why it got wet was because I went and I had colored. Okay, so now we're going to put, where did that go? So we're going to figure out where these are going to go. Oh, we'll put this one on first, so we'll use our dimensionals. We're just going to put that one up there. It's okay if it extends past on the things there, and we're going to use these two here, and we're going to pop them up. But now that we kind of know where we want them, I am then going to go in with my stems, and I'm just going to put one up there and one about there. And I'm just going to use the dimensionals as well on there. Right there, and one down here. And when I case this, like I say, they didn't have the 5 on there, so it's a little bit different in that aspect. In the one in the catalog, it has a yellow in there. It uses different types of other accents on there, but I'm just going to bring that like about there. Okay, now at this point, I can go ahead and put my leaves in there as well. So I'll just put that on directly with that, and it can kind of pop underneath. And then this leaf that way. Wait a second. Let's see, we can do it. You know what? I'm going to, well, I've got to put it on there, so let's put underneath here. There we go. Now, I had decided to use this tulle ribbon, and I went ahead and I've already done it in a bow. So by putting that bow on there, we're kind of hiding an awful lot of that stuff on there as it is. So let me go, and we'll put this on with a glue dot. Take your pick tool and take this off there. And we'll find the back of the bow. This ribbon it's so subtle, but it adds an awful lot to the card. You'll see. Now, by me putting this on here, I'm putting it off to the one side. So it's off to this side that I'm actually doing it. I could put the tear and tape on here, but I'm pretty confident that this is going to stay. Now, I could do it up higher, I could do it lower, but I think on this one, I'm going to leave it up high so that the sentiment doesn't look so lopsided. All right, so there's that. Now, like I say, I was thinking about putting happy birthday on here. So I want to bring in the happy birthday stamp, which I had right here. Maybe we're going to use something else. You know what? I better put this lid back on there because I know I'm going to make a mess of it there. Well, we're going to take something off of this stamp set. So let's do a get well soon card. So on here, Happy Mother's Day. You know what? That might not be bad because I do have my godmother that I'm going to send a Mother's Day card to. And that'll work really, really good. So I'll just do that like that. Put this on there. Whoops. Just doesn't want to. There we go. And I'm going to take my rich raspberry and be careful with it again. We've got this on. I'm pretty sure that's going to line up on there. Ooh, it might be rather short. Let's see. There we go. Let's try that. Oh, it worked. It worked great. The only thing is that I need to cut this off. So I'm going to cut some off on both sides. I pretty much have that in the middle. So let's see. Yep, that looks good. And then I'm just going to bring in my dimensionals again. You know what? I'm going to put one in the middle there too. I used to use my dimensionals sparingly, but I just find it just adds way more to just keep things that way. Yeah, this will work good. My godmother is going to love it. I always remember her always being out in her garden and her beautiful flowers out there, so I know she'll love this. And then all we're going to do is I'm going to put this onto this side here. So let's just put our snail on there. And whoops, right there. And this is a little crooked. There we go. So there we have it. So I have a Mother's Day card. I've got happy birthday cards. I've got Easter cards. It's great. I've got lots of cards that I can give away. That's for sure. So what do you think of casing? It's pretty close, isn't it? But just think, always go into your catalogs, and that the main one is amazing, but this catalog, they've really outdone themselves, because not only do you get the samples that are by the stamp set, and then they have some of these like they had in the back there. These ones were, and they showed that and scrapbooking and 3D things, but they also have them up at the front. There's so many samples of different cards and that sort of stuff in this particular mini, and from what I understand, that's the way it's going to be going forward as well. So if you do need any of these supplies, I'd love to be your demonstrator. I do have an online giveaway that if you do purchase any amount in my online store, I am giving away a tutorial. And it's this month, it's April showers bring May flowers, and there's instruction for 14 items in there. Leave a comment below. I really do appreciate it, and I always do respond to them. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me any of those questions. I will get back to you on those. Give me a thumbs up or give me a heart. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you get my YouTubes as they go on my YouTube channel. I really appreciate everything that you do for me. Thanks for stopping by. Bye for now.